What is up, my bro? Owen, how you doing, bro?
Good man, good man. How are you, Izzy?
I'm doing great. So I'm glad to have you on the podcast. Welcome to Overthinking with Israel. And basically what this is kind of like my personal podcast, which I'm trying to push out into the future. Hopefully it becomes bigger. I don't know. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
flourish it and go where it goes. But I'm
let's go,
glad
baby.
for you to be a guest, and you're my second guest ever. So welcome.
Hey, thank you, and it's an honor to be your second guest ever.
Thank you, thank you. So, yeah, can you give the audience an intro to yourself? I want to know a little bit more about you, and let's see how much you can give to us. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll try. Usually I ramble on. So Owen Meadows, great to meet everybody. Uh I'm actually from Nashville, Tennessee. Let's just start at my roots, man. But from Nashville, Tennessee, born and bred, and I came to Atlanta about 7 or 8 years ago after I went to college at Auburn. We just got stomped by Georgia. We love it. I'm still repping anyways. So yeah, I went to Auburn and I came to Atlanta really from a job out of college, man. And my first job that came through kind of a crazy story through I used to be a bellman at a hotel in high school or in college, and I got connected through a consulting company that was at our hotel at the time. So got a consulting job that I wasn't qualified for, and started in Atlanta 2015. So I moved to Atlanta, and things have just been kind of flourishing ever since, if you will. While rest of my family's back in Tennessee and Alabama, but Atlanta's been really interesting. I thought I would be here for 2 years, been here for almost eight. Crazy. But it's been amazing. So today I work for a cybersecurity company called Palo Alto Networks. Shout out Palo Alto. We just got acquired. Great. And also I'm a part-time boxing trainer, and which is kind of one of the ways that you and I got connected. It was through the circumstances of my life in the past year that something called Armor Boxing came to be at Armor Boxing on IG or armorfoundation.com if you want to look us up. And through my experience through training boxing classes, we've created this organization or this nonprofit to build a community that's dedicated to pursuing a sound mind together. So really talking about mental health, really talking about community, talking about faith, and really implementing it with the idea of coming together and exercising and getting after it together and getting a little aggressive. So that's been a big part of my life. I am not married. I live with two great guys in this beautiful house that I didn't decorate, and I love the outdoors. Just a little about me. So I know that's kind of everywhere, but yeah, man, a little bit about me.
Dude, that's awesome. That's definitely like a very like I guess cushioned down version of you. After getting to know you for the past few months, I was like, you know what?
Yeah,
That's a really great way to say it. But
that's
yeah,
great.
before we get into armor, I wanted to like I guess go deeper into more about you in the beginning, and that is like how armor got into how you got into armor. For example, you say you do
Yeah,
boxing. I want to know like how'd you get into
yeah,
boxing?
man, yeah. So the story that I tell is really from elementary school, middle school. And the reason I say this is because a lot of our endeavors, I really truly believe a lot of our endeavors go back to, experiences we had as kids and what we want to do. And that really drives what our desires are as adults, which is incredible if you think about a childhood driving so much of what you want to do as adult. But when I was in middle school, I had a bullying situation. So you can read this story at Armor Foundation under about, but in sixth grade, I remember there was this kid named Matt, and I had never dealt with a bullying situation. I really just got like to the middle to the school in general. So I was in the cafeteria one day, and I overheard this guy's name said at the lunch table, and somehow it came to be that this girl told Matt that I was talking trash about him. Now, keep in mind, Matt's like 20 pounds under me. Well, not right now. I'm really thin right now, but back then I was a big kid. And so Matt came and threatened to beat me up. And I bawled my eyes out in the middle school lunchroom in front of everybody. Well, I went home And I really sought advice of my dad and advice of my family just to figure out what to do about it. A lot of people don't know what to do about bullying situations. I didn't really get anywhere. And it came to fruition one morning when Matt waited for me at my locker. And luckily that morning I was late to school. So like Matt never made it. My science teacher covered for me. And that's the last we heard from Matt. Nothing happened from it. But that experience in middle school actually followed me all the way to adulthood. And so just like the idea of being helpless and uh the idea of going through a bullying situation and just not knowing really what to do and not knowing how to de-escalate the situation. I mean, not given, we're, 12, 13-year-old kids, everyone's kind of going through something and, you know, God knows what Matt was going through. So when I was 23 years old, fast forward, I was really sick of routine. I was really sick of doing the same thing over and over again. And so I was living in Brookhaven at the time. It was my second year in Atlanta. And I Googled boxing gym. And there was one 5 minutes away from me on Buford Highway. And I showed up at Buckeye Fight Club. I still remember the day I showed up at Buckeye Fight Club. And I still remember what I was wearing when I showed up at Buckeye Fight Club. It was just wild. And so I got in there and really the rest is history. I trained for I would say about 2.5 years at Buckhead Fight Club and got pretty good, I should say. All respect and all shout out to the trainers there, especially Juan Diaz. Shout out Juan Diaz. And then a couple of years later, through really just happen chance, I became a trainer for Buckhead. They were light on trainers, and so I really love coaching and encouraging and directing, and I really think that's a gift of mine, and I love teaching people things. So, and that's really where training started.
Dude, that's awesome because that's exactly what we do in at Armor. You know, you're the
Yeah,
main one there, and it's like you're. What would you consider your role at Armor would be?
man, my role at Armor. Um, I don't know if I would throw roles around there, but honestly, right now it's chief servant.
Yeah.
It's chief servant, and it's what we're doing with armor with the context of what we're trying to do with it. It's really just facilitating community.
Mm.
How do we facilitate community? How do we get people together in the same room, and facilitate connection in a world that's full of independence and full of, even like myself, I'm, naturally independent and naturally individualistic, the personality type. But yeah, chief servant. How do we get people in the same door? How do we serve and how do we offer people an experience and incentives to come together and be real and be vulnerable and wear their heart on their sleeve and create a community that's actually trusting and not just and not high level, and not frivolous, if you will, because there's too much of that, in this world.
Hmm. And yeah, I wanted to also talk about how do you incorporate Christianity into Armor?
Yeah, man. So, everyone that I talk, everyone that I really meet and that's asked me about this armor idea, I tell them there's no armor without God. And just personally, I've been a true believer since I was 24 years old. I got rebaptized, and it was really through my personal experience with anxiety and depression, and it was through this that the idea came about. In fact, a lot of people don't know this, but the idea of armor was spun out in 2020. I mean, it was 2 years prior where I knew that I really wanted to impact the boxing world and use my skills and gifts for the benefit of Christ. But I didn't know how to do that. And it was actually through a relationship that fell apart. I lost control of my mind. It was a super dark time. And it was through that the ideas started to take root and take hold. And through pursuing God, He put it on my heart. And I really truly believe that it's not just yes, we're Christian based, and there's a lot of Christian based stuff, depending on your religious and church wounds out there, but it's really God's heart for people that are going through mental battles, like it's really that. And so the way that that's implemented in our community is we invite them into everything. So we'll pray over our time. we'll use language or biblical language, if you will, to encourage and to tell stories of hope and encouragement and love and truth and things of that nature, and with an idea that healing and restoration, while steps are good, medication was a part of my journey, counseling, a part of my journey, community, a part of my journey. Really healing, I believe, and we believe is found in Christ, and in a relationship with Him. And that's really, kind of what we stand on, as well as taking steps to get better mentally. Because if we have found out, the more money we throw at this problem, the more counseling we throw at this problem, more medication we throw at this problem, it's not necessarily solving the issue. And so I've experienced healing through relationship with Christ, and we want the same for everybody, but it's never pushed, it's never expected or uh, or forced upon any of our community members.
Mm. And that's what I love about it, because you can see it's like it's an option when you're at Armor. It's not something you don't have to like be a part of, but it's welcomed, and that's what I really appreciate about Armor. When I've been to 2 3 events now. I enjoyed every second of it. I'm gonna keep going. And one of the things I admire about you, Owen, is that your confidence when it comes to, I guess, your self-awareness when about your skills. Because everyone has skills, everyone has talents and stuff that they can capitalize on and keep growing. And like, for example, me, I know I have some skills here and there, but my confidence is not up there. Like, I don't put them up there like you do. When you talk about your skills, you're like, this is my skill set, this is what's awesome about it, this is
Yeah.
how I can help others with it. And I'm like, dude, that mindset is insanely awesome.
Well, it's funny that knowing skills and knowing identity, man. Like I really do think that what's changed, and the primary thing that's changed is just knowing who you are, and personally, like that is who I am in Christ. And through that, I have been able to distinguish and understand strengths and weaknesses, how I'm gifted, how, creatively, Israel, like directly, you're gifted. I believe that's a God's gift upon your life, is creativity, just like what we did with the redesign for Armor. Like that is something that has been given. That's what I truly believe. And so I think through this, I've realized the way that God's gifted me in encouragement, gifted me in service, gifted me in fitness and in movement, gifted me in speech and communication. Like, praise God for that, right? So I think just finding those, and like finding those through, like coming to the realization of those gifts and saying, all right, I'm gifted, so it's not something to say, nah, I'm not gifted. A lot of people, use false humility. Nah, not that good. Nah, not that good. Nah, nah, that's no, you're gift. It's a gift because God's got good gifts for His children. That's just who He is. And so I appreciate you saying that, man. But gosh, there's been a lot of trial and error, and in the past, trying to force myself in places I didn't necessarily fit because I was trying to be somebody I wasn't.
Mm. And what were like, I guess, would be the tips you would say to yourself back then?
Man, change comes with time. Change comes with time. I was reading, in fact, in October, and I kind of let this out of the bag, but in October, Armor Night, we're gonna be talking about gratitude, and I was reading some studies on gratitude, and this is just an example. The practice of gratitude in research studies did not have mental impacts or direct brain impacts until, shoot, 12 weeks in. So I think change comes with time. Development of life and seasons come with time and trials. And I think all of us want the thing now, and all of us, especially as younger folk, we want a platform. We want, if you're a Christian, you want a ministry, or you want a big organization, you want a business, you want something to stand on, to be proud of. You want your life to count. But at the same time, it's like, when you get there, are you going to be prepared for it? Are you going to be able to handle the thing, and what you're stepping into? And I really think that through this, and I'm still 100% still work in progress. But I think if I had this platform a couple years ago, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I wouldn't. And so through pain and through suffering and through asking hard questions and doubting God and being real, like, no, I, you know, people view me and can you come to Armor Night and see me talk so passionately about my relationship with God and it's something I'm firmly rooted in, but I've had my doubts for sure. So I think just wrestling through that and also wrestling through some of the things in childhood we talked about, the Matt situation. Like a lot of this didn't come up until I started to have problems. I thank God for problems because what they do is they expose things that we need to address, the foundational layers that we really need to clear out. And so, yeah, if I could give myself one piece of advice back when I was 27 and I was ready to get married and about to, I was about to propose to this girl and move forward and all this stuff. And I was so ready. It's like, no, why do we rush? Why are we so quick to rush the process? You know, in such a microwave world, no, don't rush the process. It's worth it. And that's what I have to keep telling myself that, every day, you know?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. I find myself in those situations too. And it's like, it's not one of the, it's also one of those things I don't want to like blame social media. It's like you see successes, you see all the greatness.
yeah,
You're just like, man, I wish I was at that level too, you know?
nah, nah. And one thing I think one piece of wisdom that I've attempted to, keep with me and I will attempt to keep with me throughout this is that time is the teller of all things. And so what's in your life that you're building, think about, longevity. We think of temporal. We think of next 6 months. We think of year. Shoot, I think tomorrow, tonight. I think right now, you know, God thinks longevity. So under the belief that okay, he wants to get you somewhere where he can give you something that lasts. That's a lasting foundation. Whatever you're building, whatever we're building, it's not going to matter if it doesn't last. And that lasting foundation is so important. And so, and that's one thing that is so difficult to do, but it's one step at a time and it's longevity. It's not necessarily speed, especially in the startup, go to market, get paid, all that stuff. And I mean, I work in the cybersecurity industry, so we just got acquired. So like, I'm a part of that industry, but things that last and they can hold weight. Time is the teller of all things. So what you're building is time going to tell whether this is going to be built on a solid foundation or not. And I think it's the true for our lives.
Mm. Dude, that's awesome. Well said. Uh, I want to get into the next section of just armor boxing. So I know it's been jumped around is like armor boxing, armor foundation. What is the solidified name for it?
So it is DBA name, Armor Foundation. So we're doing businesses at Armor Foundation. You'll see armor boxing everywhere. I'll explain to you why. So armor boxing, in the view of the broader vision of armor, is a subset of Armor Foundation. Armor Foundation is a community we're building to pursue a sound mind together as people. And so it's really a one-stop shop where people can come and get mental resources that they need, get plugged into community, and understand and learn a little bit more about mental health and mental wellness and how to cultivate that, and then also a place to learn more about Jesus and more about faith and how that intersects with mental health, and His promises for your life, and to like I said, community, but really connect with each other. So we're really building a community that's not just boxing focused. That ideally the high vision and the overall vision is anywhere. So Armor Foundation is just this place where we're cultivating a community that's pursuing sound mind based off of mental health excellence and resources, and as much content as we can put out there, and a community that really cares for each other. And so armor boxing is really a subset of that. It started at armor boxing. So you'll see armor boxing everywhere. But really the bigger vision is that like we can take it into boxing. Why can't we take it into school systems? Why can't we take it into colleges? Why can't we take it into professional life?
Mm.
This can be anything. Why can't we, have armor conferences where we get together and we have speakers come and we teach, we get educated, we eat together, we continue to pursue these things, we continue to try to cultivate practices, that pursue a sound mind. And really our goal there is to have also these biblically based. So, what is, what's taught, what's effective, and which is amazing praise, praising gratitude. We talk about gratitude. Gratitude is that's like number one, if not two, uh, up there in ways to cultivate, a sound mind, or uh, ways to combat anxiety and depression. Um, and uh, and it's amazing that like that also aligns with biblical teaching as well. So it's just really cool to intersect. Like we also do our research and our homework on, you know, what do researchers say? What is clinical, what do clinical psychologists say? What do scholarly articles say? And then how does that also cross reference with with the faith aspect too? It's amazing how similar they are.
And if I was like a new person walking into armor boxing,
Yeah.
what should I expect?
Relax. A lot of people are intimidated by the boxing, by the boxing gym. The boxing gym is so cool. Ask Dizzy. It's very, very cool. But what you should expect. Number one, you'll be greeted with a smile. You're going to be greeted by a team armor member, and these like team armor members are people that are dedicated to putting on these nights. And we all, there's about 10 of us. So you'll walk down the stairs. You'll be greeted. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to connect with people. And so you're going to be put into a training group. You're going to connect with people that you've never met before. That can be a little intimidating. I get it, but we help you with prompt questions. We help you with, things to talk about, things of that nature. And the community is so open, so you're going to connect with people. You're going to learn a new skill. You don't have to have boxing experience. You don't have to have, sorry, can you still hear me, Izzy?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm sorry. I had a phone call. But you don't have to have boxing experiences. You don't have to have your own gloves. You don't have to be athletic to come and to do this thing. So you'll get a full workout, you get a free meal, and then you're going to be encouraged. I can guarantee you that you're going to leave encouraged. And if you don't believe me, just go to armorfoundation.com, Armor Nights, and read the testimonials. We've got, I think, 6 up there.
Mm.
Uh, we probably have 12 that we can put on there, and just the feedback is incredible. And yeah, I challenge anyone, try it out. Why not?
Yeah, give it a go. I know from my experience, it's just you do leave with like encouraged and a sound mind. I definitely feel like very uplifted. I think that's the word every time
Yeah,
I leave on Armor Nights.
that's so good. That's exactly what we want to be about, man. I mean, given the atmosphere, it's just the idea and the concept, the framework, and it just works. And it's just been really cool to see this idea take off. There's a really really big difference between a good idea and a god idea, that's for sure. So
Yeah. So I got 4 minutes with you left, and what I would like to do is talk about what's next. What is next for Armor Foundation?
yeah, what's next for Armor Foundation? So me and the team actually had this meeting on Sunday night. And some of the things that you'll see upcoming in October is a focus on community. So we focus on Armor Nights, we focus on really good events, we focus on speakers. The last speaker we had, Sava Fields, incredible. She has an amazing domestic violence story that she was able to tell and impact a lot of people with. But moving forward, we're really going to focus on connecting our community as people. So yes, you're going to come to an event. Yes, you're going to box. Yes, you're going to have free food, but we want you to get connected with other people within the community. So it's a focus on having armor community groups or armor community outside of armor nights. And that's something that we really want to implement. The other thing that we're trying to implement and that we're looking for partners for is mental health resources. And so connecting people with counselors, private counselors, public counselors, things of that nature as a first step to being a partner, like a channel partner for mental health resources. Georgia's in the bottom 5 states as it relates to access to mental care. And so what we're really trying to do is connect people with affordable mental health care. That is another huge aspect of what we're trying to do. And then lastly is really just a goal And we're at Buckhead Fight Club right now. Buckhead Fight Club, shout out Buckhead Fight Club. They've been so good to host us, and we're super grateful for their partnership. And we really hope to outgrow our gym by the end of the year. And we have a really big event coming in December where we have a professional heavyweight boxer coming in, number 8 in the world, Otto Wallin, who fought Tyson Fury last year. He's coming to work out with us in December. And so we hope to pack the gym out, and you really use that as a way to gain momentum, outgrow our gym, and then be able to look at other places in the city. Like, where else can we put on these nights? Where else can we impact community? Where else can we pull people together and uplift them, and make a difference and make an impact in people's lives. So that's really those are three specific things that are in the future. Man, even talking about that kind of overwhelms me a little bit, but day by day, step by step, not in a hurry. And we'll take it as we come.
Dude, awesome, Owen. I appreciate you coming on. How can everyone connect with you, find you, and learn more?
Oh yeah, I'm always gonna plug it at armorboxing.com, or not, gosh, IG at armorboxing, and then armorfoundation.com. All of the details are right there, those two places, and hopefully we'll have a little bit more for people to connect with moving forward. We're also on Facebook, Armor Boxing too. So www.facebook.com/armorboxing, Instagram at armorboxing, and then armorfoundation.com.
Sweet, man. I'm gonna have all those linked down below. I appreciate you coming on. All right.
Dude, this is great. Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.